Welcome back, everybody. There's a link in the chat window to get to the notes for this staff meeting, including the agenda. And the first thing we're going to start with is upping our WordPress skills this summer as one of several things that you can do when you have downtime. So I'm going to let Stacy, our newest academic librarian, awesome, talk a little bit about that, and then we'll address the other things that are on this list. I see, Sarah, you have it open. I'm going to just plug the list of items into our chat also. Okay. And Stacey, you can feel free to share your screen or tell us what to do, whatever.
I'm denied access to your agenda.
Oh.
Not that I need it. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, I understand.
But you put them in the chat.
Well, there you go. You can also open the document now.
I failed to wear a costume as was suggested by Michelle.
I think it was your idea.
Oh, maybe it was. Then Shiva suggested that I dress up as the lynda.com lady. I wasn't sure how to pull that off.
What does she look like?
Well, we're going to see.
Okay.
She has glasses, I know that. Is Hannah talking?
Oh, sorry, yeah. Are we getting Linda? Are we getting access to that?
Well, I'm going to show you a way to access it.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. It's not quite as good as having it all the time, maybe, but
okay.
Still pretty cool.
Great, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. I'm going to share my screen. And I am here today as a poor substitute for my colleague Shiva, who had a conflict. So I am using her presentation to take credit. Don't want to take credit from Shiva.
Oh, there she is, the lynda.com lady.
There's the Linda lady.
See her.
So I wasn't really feeling that because she looks very stereotypical to me. So we have access to lynda.com, which is awesome resource. Typically something you have to buy in a subscription format through the Maine State Library. And you can use your campus library card number to get a 2-week pass. I have done this, and it was so easy, and they were really responsive. So it's a really nice perk that our state library offers. So the URL there is at the top, and this is the site you go to, and then this is what it looks like. When you get there, they do have this little blurb about whether Lynda's the right training option for you. That's more for the general public, because I know Michelle has some specific resources in lynda.com that she'd like you to use to get WordPress training, I believe. You can sign up if you need longer than 2 weeks. You can just sign up again. So just stick your name in there, the library name, and you can just use, if you have a local public library, you could put it in there, but you could just put the library affiliated with the campus that you are a student at, and then use your library card number, and then make sure you remember the email address. You know, obviously use one that you know you're going to check, because that's how they're going to send you your access code. So what happens is, like, within 2 days, they send you this PDF that has your activation key in it. It gives you the 2 weeks. And I think when I applied, they responded, like, actually in just 1 day. So it probably depends how busy they are. Once you get that activation key, you go to lynda.com, lynda.com, and you're going to create a new account. And this is what your screen will look like. You put in the key and then some information about yourself here. And then after you've created your account, you can just sign in. Sign in is at the top right there where the red arrow is. And there is a trial also you can see here on their homepage that you can do, like, for 10 days that is available to anyone, but I prefer using the Maine State Library. Not only do you get extra time, you don't have to worry about remembering to cancel your free trial and all that stuff. And you could also extend it and apply again and get longer if you need to. So that's kind of the basics. Does anyone have any questions about getting your pass? Now, Michelle, do you want me to show logging in
Yeah, I think that
live?
would be helpful. I don't know if anyone here has done it before. Has anyone logged into Linda? Sarah's saying no. Hannah, you seemed familiar with it. Have you used the tool before?
My husband has it through his school, so I've used it a bit with him.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Ken?
No, I haven't.
So it's does anyone have any questions about what it is or how it works?
Would it be different for me where I go through UMaine, like the library name and number and everything?
That's a great question.
Okay, I don't think so. You have a library card number. Is it on your ID?
I have no idea. I mean, I've never really even used it, so.
Okay. That would probably be the first thing you would need to know, because you do have to have some kind of library card, and usually
Okay.
your campus one is fine. If of course
would
if
it be
you
like
have,
sorry, would it be like my student ID?
that's what it is here at UMA.
Okay.
I don't know 100% for sure. You're at UMaine and Orono. Okay. I could always follow up on that. Check with someone there.
Okay.
Someone maybe at Fogler Library, because each campus does it a little different. Ours, like when you get your ID, you have a number already on there that is your library card number.
Okay.
So I'm hoping it's true for you as well. You could also use, if you happen to have a public library card, or anyone in the state of Maine can get a Maine State Library card too. And those would all work well. Yeah. So Sarah, if I follow up, do you want me just to follow up through Michelle, or you can put your email in the chat? Or...
Yeah, I can. That's fine.
Okay. That means Sarah has never borrowed a book. Is that true?
I haven't had to use UMaine's library. I transferred from EMCC, so
Okay.
like my children's lit class was all through there. So I I've never had to borrow books yet.
Yeah. Well, do you have a card through the community college?
Well, I think it was always linked to our student ID,
Yeah.
because I think that's all I ever showed.
Okay, and you're not active. Are you still active there?
No, I'm not. I
Okay.
graduated and then transferred.
All right. Great. I got your email. Thank you.
Okay.
Can follow up.
Thanks, Stacy. Is
Sure.
there a site we can check out to apply for a Maine State Library card?
Yes. Let me grab it real quick. There's two kinds. I went ahead and just got the one that they will actually just send it through your email, so you don't even have to go in person. And that is to access all the databases and electronic resources. Then if you actually want to check out materials and borrow physical books and things, you can fill in the online application, and then you do have to pick up the card there. So there's those two options. So I have it. Let me see. Put it on the screen. So this is the Maine State Library is maine.gov, and this is the specific page. I can put this in the chat, then the URL is a little long. You can see, you just choose whether you're going to use the card just to do online stuff or if you're going to check out materials as well. And then you just fill in these few things and click submit. It's really convenient.
So all of these are pathways to accessing lynda.com for free.
Correct.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. And here is lynda.com, their homepage. So you would just click sign in like we saw in the slide. And you can just leave it on individual login. So I think it's remembering my account that I had from the Maine State Library. So I'm just going to switch because that ran out to a different one and then log in. You might have noticed it said there about log in with LinkedIn, and that's because I believe LinkedIn.com actually purchased this whole site. They actually own lynda.com now, and if any of you are members of LinkedIn, they will constantly ask you if you want to purchase a subscription. It's kind of annoying. Okay, so when you come in, for me, I have a few that says continue watching. It's kind of nice. It remembers some things, maybe tutorials that you didn't finish. You can create playlists. And then they have some curated things, learning paths, like for certain topics. And then the search bar at the top is where I think you want to WordPress Essential Training. Is that right, Michelle? I think this is the one Sheba said you were recommending. So I just put in WordPress Essential Training in the search bar, and this is the one that comes up. It's this Morton Rand Hendrickson. I think Linda's tutorials are usually super. You have the video, the audio, there's bookmarks. Usually there's a transcript transcript over here at the bottom. Can follow along. So it's a really nice tool.
Do you think we'll need any more information besides search term WordPress Essentials to access that training?
WordPress Essential Training.
Essential training.
Yeah. And then it's the first one that comes up. I'll put. I think it's like, if you just put in WordPress, I think it's like the 6th one that comes up.
Okay. And it's not that other WordPress, oh, thank you,
Sure.
trainings on lynda.com wouldn't be helpful to you. So I'm not opposed to you like trying out a few different ones, but this one BJ uses for his training, and I found it was
Okay.
pretty straightforward and effective.
I'll put his name in here too.
Oh, that would be great.
That's.
And I see Emma, Sarah, and Ken have the notes open for this meeting, so you can find a lot of what we're talking about in there as well.
Great.
Oh, yeah, he's got that weird, like, Dutch name. Sorry, we shouldn't use the word weird. He's got that interesting Dutch name.
So did that cover what you were hoping for as a stand-in for Shiva? We're not aware of them ever running out of these activation keys or passes. I think Shiva talked to someone at the Maine State Library, and they confirmed that and said that they kind of monitor and they get more if they see that they're running low. So I think they're really good about this. But they do have to say there's no guarantee, just to protect themselves. And it's also first come, first serve.
Well, probably there's enough for our team to get on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions about access or anything else? Okay. Stacy, I have your email address in one of the comments for today's notes. Is it
Sure.
okay if we reach out to you there if we have any other questions?
Sure.
All right, cool.
Questions, costume ideas.
You know, I had a tiara that I left at home. I should have brought it to work today.
Yeah, we should just keep crowns and tiaras and things.
I learned in facilitator training that a good technique to let other people know you have something to say in a Hangout meeting because of the delay in the audio is to use the effects and wear a tiara, and that can let the meeting leader know that you really want to say something.
Interesting.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I've been afraid to use the effects because at my last employer, people said that they were like way too distracting. I guess because they were doing like cat faces and all these things.
Yeah, I like that. It's pretty fun. But I'm all for distractions in a meeting.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to close out this part of our meeting. We have a few other things to cover, and I'm going to try and run through them.
Okay.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I just thank you all for your good work and keep sending students our way when you are working with students. I know you already do that. You're great about that. So, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Cool. So that's one way that you guys can take up your shift time this summer. And there's a few other things that you can do if you haven't already, that's on this list. Ken, I know for you it's a volunteer card form that you need to fill out. And Hannah, I know you already emailed me your authorization form. So Emma and Sarah, I'm looking at you and anyone else who watches this after the fact. HR really wants me to not approve any hours until until that form has been completed. So the sooner you get it to me, the sooner I can make sure you get paid.
Yeah, it's on my list for today.
Yeah, I yesterday was just crazy and I just didn't have time to print it off at work. The concerts took over as per usual.
Totally. Yeah. Particularly when you're working in a virtual environment, it's easy to kind of like devalue the paperwork.
Yeah, I was just
Well, I
thinking
actually
that.
I just tried to put hours into Main Street and it wouldn't let me. So it definitely yelled at me.
Yeah, that's good. It's like a little stop measure. By the way.
Yeah.
So, okay, student employment authorization forms, and then shift procedure review. Could you guys just kind of call out for this point? Could you call out at this point, what's your checklist when you are on either on call or on for assigned in shift?
I thought the on call was kind of just like as requests came in. I didn't know we had to like, I thought that we had decided not to have like an on call day. It was just as they came in.
Yeah, so if you have a day where you're like on the schedule,
Okay.
but you're not tied to specific hours, what would be like your steps to make sure, if I'm not available, what would your steps be to make sure you picked up whatever needed to be handled?
I don't know. I don't really have any steps, especially if they're not specific scheduled hours. If I'm not, sitting online in front of the computer, I get the VAWLT notifications on my phone, so I know when an email comes in.
Okay, so I'm going to make two lists here for on-call tutors, because I know a couple people have elected to do your hours that way. And then I started to write as requests come in, and then I didn't finish capturing that thought you were saying, Sarah. Sorry. And the
Okay.
other thing I heard was, so the other distinction was live tutors. And right now those shifts are only happening Mondays and Thursdays. So does anyone want to help Sarah out? What would you contribute to one list or the other?
Well, I think both would involve, checking the Google group, just seeing what's been assigned or not assigned. And I guess for a hour, with the hours would be logging into the live chat thing.
Okay, thanks. So check group to take assignments. I have listed under both on-call and live on schedule. And log into live chat I have for live on schedule. I'm going to put as a sub for that, tweet status update, so that folks see that on the page. And then can we go back? I'd like to go back to Sarah's idea, but then I also want to collect other people's ideas. Ken, do you have more you want to add? I think you're muted.
Yeah, I'm just buying as I think. I'm trying to look what I do when I log in. I guess I just kind of automatically I have this browser open up the calendar and the Hangouts and the Google Groups and the Drive. I think in terms of initial steps, that's what I would do, and then if I was um, if there was no work there, then I might start opening up the social media stuff to see if I should add anything there. But I guess that's all I have in mind.
Okay, great. So I've got check Google Group to take assignments, make sure you've got Calendar, Hangouts, Google Groups, and Drive open in tabs on your browser. Make sure you're logged into live chat. That's another browser tab. And then tweet your status update and add to social media.
I guess I could say I would use the calendar and the Hangouts particularly to see if someone else is also on and check in with them if they are, or if somebody just got off.
And does everybody know how to do that? Are you guys all comfortable at this point? Emma, you said you were the calendar was acting weird for you the other day.
Yeah, I fixed it though. It unchecked my Vault calendar for some reason. I really don't know why, but I went back in and looked to see what I was getting notifications for, and the calendar was there just unchecked, so I just rechecked it and it's been fine.
Okay, so I'll put that in, like we might have to periodically check to make sure that notifications are turned on the calendar. Has anyone else experienced that, where your calendar became unchecked and you disappeared from your overall thing? No?
Maybe once in a while, but I mean, I'm in the Google Calendar a lot because I put my personal stuff on there too. So for me, it's probably just something that I clicked on accident. But yeah, it's happened once or twice.
But you're comfy with troubleshooting for that.
Yeah, I've played around with it enough that I'm
Okay, good.
helps so I don't forget my life.
Great. Okay, so for on-call tutors, let's try to dissect this a little bit. We have Ken's awesome suggestions for which things should be open in your browser. If you're on call, what can you do, since you're not gonna have a block of time when all of those things are open? So what would be helpful?
Well, are we defining on call as in like if a request comes in, somebody gets on and does it?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then you would want to have like I mean it depends for each person because I imagine that the method is probably different, but you'd want to pay attention to your email notifications and your group notifications, and then if something came in, you would want to log on and see what it is, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna check Google Groups, we're gonna check email, and I'm gonna also say check in with others on schedule and Michelle, because there might just be like a special project that I need to throw at you for the day. Okay. I'm also comfortable with on-call tutors logging time, doing stuff on social media, and now I'm going to add to this WordPress training.
So what I'm gathering is that the only real difference between on-call and live is that on-call doesn't have to monitor the chat.
Yeah, and I'd like it to also feel more flexible in terms of when you have to complete your, like you could look first thing in the morning, notice that there are a few requests, take them, but then say, all right, but I gotta get the kids on the bus, so I'm not gonna be able to do this until noon. But I've taken it. It's 8 a.m. I chose a couple things. I know I'm putting in 3 hours today.
Okay.
Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
it's just it, and it's not structured hours. It's as things are needed.
Yeah. Is that lack of
I think that was how
structure
I understood
gonna
it.
be too amoebus?
I don't think
I don't know.
so.
I think it's just going to be like a trial and error kind of thing until we get into the flow of it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we are used to having vault is open, from here to here these many days. So it's just going to be an adjustment, I guess,
Okay.
to just knowing that something's there and that we don't have live hours, jumping on and taking it. So
And I'd like that to also leave room for, a request that doesn't just have a document attached to it. It could be a request to work with someone live, so you could write back to that person and say, hey, this is the time when I'm available today. If you'd like to work with me, I'm on call today. Let me know.
That method is very similar for how we've done vacation work.
Yeah, exactly. Like for weeks when everyone's on break, but we still want to be available if someone needs us.
yeah.
So does that process work for everybody?
Mm-hmm.
I guess the only thing I would say is being clear if you're on call, like being aware of when other people are working when there are live hours. Like I don't have it in my head. I'm sure you do, but I don't remember offhand which days there are live hours. But so you wouldn't want to like go in at 8 and like clear out the box, and somebody comes in at 9 for live hours. So it's like, hey, there's nothing to do. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Right. So I mean, really, Monday and Thursdays are days that we shouldn't jump on for on-call hours.
I would say so, or at least if you're gonna jump on and do something on call, do like some WordPress training or, something that
Right.
is not request related and let the people who are scheduled to work on Mondays and Thursdays handle those.
Yep.
Does that make sense? And I'll share my screen so you can see. I only have the Vault calendar up right now, and I tried to put in places where folks said they wanted to do special projects or just be on call. So Hannah, I've got you like checking in throughout the weekend. Same thing with Sarah Ramsey.
Shush.
Any questions about this structure based on Ken's comment or whatever? All right. Well, let me know if it's not working or if you think of a way to tweak it. I would love to hear it. Okay, so downtime special projects we pretty much covered. In terms of WordPress usage, I'm sure there will be other special projects that we can talk about. And then the other thing I'm looking for is who's interested in being an embedded tutor this summer because we've already had a couple of requests. Emma, awesome.
I'm interested.
You would do that too, Hannah?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I'm going to take bite off more than I can chew, with work, especially where it's concert season and my own online classes. So
Yeah.
probably just
So,
better if I don't.
so then for you, think about your downtime, Sarah, is like if you want to earn hours on call at all, they can be training. And if you want to like work regular hours, you're probably going to be more the the go-to person for feedback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mondays are a problem. You know, those are working out well.
Okay, good.
So it's just the on-call hours that I've got to kind of weave in with everything else.
Awesome. So I'm going to put down Hannah and Emma right now. That's perfect because we've only had 2 requests for embedded tutors. And I'm going to reach out to you two. Emma, I think what would probably be most helpful is if the 3 of us talked about the approach you took this past spring, and then Hannah can kind of put some of like the structure you've already implemented into place.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. That meeting that I attended with Professor Elliott was also really, really interesting. So I had quite a bit of takeaway from that as well.
Mm-hmm. What did you get out of it?
Well, it's kind of hard to summarize that quickly, but off the top of my head, like, he is very interested in trying to optimize our services, and so he was asking a lot of like reflection-based questions that kind of had me questioning like our methods and how we can improve them, and what I'm doing right now, and all of those different things. So it's really kind of I love reflection, I guess. Like, I always think it's so helpful for learning and moving forward and stuff. So it was really interesting to discuss with him what he felt was effective and things he thought might be kind of redundant, and get a very interesting take on it. So it was really a good meeting to attend. I was glad I was there. I don't know if that technically answered the question.
No. What I heard was reasons why you appreciated the experience and ways that Professor Elliott like encouraged you to rethink your practice as a tutor. So that's great. And I hope, Hannah, you're going to have a similar experience, and anyone who is taking on embedded mentoring moving forward.
Who are the 2 professors, if you don't mind me asking? I saw Siebold. Who was the other one?
Olivia Donaldson, she's a UMF professor, and she's doing an interesting class. I'm trying to remember now what the subject of it was. It was a kind of a weird marriage of ideas. I'll have to go back in my email and look at her request. But anyhow, see if there's anything else I wanted to cover with you guys. Still interested in talking about the Community of Practice Special Project. I know YouTube transcription is happening this summer with Sarah Ramsey and with Ken. And one other piece I wanted to share with you. If anyone has a reason to be on the Augusta campus on Monday the 13th, they're going to be filming a commercial for UMA. You won't have to talk, but you'll get to be in the commercial. So if anyone's interested in that, just wanted to pass on that little opportunity.
If you're not, hide.
Yeah. Okay, I'll look at that. I'm only 12 minutes over what I said we'd be.
Why were we supposed to be a half an hour?
Yeah, I was going for half an hour. I feel like half an hour is better than an hour.
Is it?
I guess it depends on what you're doing.
Our meetings always go over, like, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. But like if I said an hour, then we'll go for like an hour and a half. So I thought if I said half an hour, we would go for 45 minutes.
Well, there you go. We're pretty close.
It works.
Trying to apply what I learned in my facilitator training. I should do some sort of closing, like team building exercise.
Don't sit on me.
Sarah, don't you have to do like opening and closing exercises? Did you learn about that stuff for when you were in the classroom?
Not really opening and closing exercises, just get out of my classroom, have a good day.
Good closure.
Do your homework.
All right, I'll try to work at that. We'll go around and each person say what you wish you could say, and then say amend it to sweet, sweet, sweet tutor speak. Go.
You're getting a blank stare.
Yeah, I'm not getting it.
Let's see. I wish I could say, get the hell out of my classroom. But at the end of the day, what I want to try to say as a good tutor is, it's been wonderful working with you, and I hope you all have an excellent afternoon.
Oh, Emma, he's so cute.
I know.
Yeah, it's a she. Her name's Luna.
Oh. We're actually getting one on the 18th.
She's a white German Shepherd.
Oh, she's pretty.
Yeah, this is the first time she's slept
How
all
you
day.
do a closing, Michelle?
Well, if you descend into puppy talk, that's okay.
Yeah, right?
Let's pull out the puppies at the end.
I could do that kind of closing every time.
Yep. I don't know if anyone saw on Facebook, my dog found one of my daughter's old binkies. So I have a picture of her with a little bright pink binky in her mouth. Look at this camera like, what?
That's so funny.
She's going to be real mad in a couple of weeks when the puppy comes home.
What kind of puppy are you getting?